Queen's Comic Podcast. Hey, hey, let's go.
Well, this is the Queen's Comic Podcast, or if we want to say it, the Rebel Underground for everything. Oh, wait, that's the wrong podcast. Wrong podcast.
Wrong podcast.
What's up, Ian? I'm Billy Bombs.
I'm Ian.
And we just had a successful Queen's Comic Party Brooklyn Invasion over on 148 Frost Street. Thank you to everybody that came out. We have a ton of donations. The post office is really sticking it to us on the pricing, and UPS is taking a few bucks off, but not enough. But either way, it's going to get shipped.
Yeah. You can't
Yeah.
just because you can't ship a medium mail, right?
I don't know. When it's that big, I don't think so.
I think you can't ship a medium mail, not because of the size, but because comic books have advertisements in them.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
It's going to be 6 short boxes going out. 3 from
yeah.
this.
UPS ground, I think, would be the best option there.
That's what we're going with. They're averaging out to $50 a box, so 2 every week until I get them all out.
Okay.
But I'm taking out all the bags and boards, making them like fit as many as I can each box.
That's a lot. 6 long boxes, you said, or 6 short boxes?
Short boxes.
Still a
We
lot.
had 2 long boxes, and another guy donated before in another box, but I can't send half of it because it's too pornographic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't send that to kids.
Yeah. I'm trying to make it like normal. I'm trying to even it out. Like some guys are trading us kids' books for stuff like that, so maybe I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I got to make it look way more presentable than what we got.
Okay. So a bit of work.
Yeah. You want to go first with the comic stuff, or what are we gonna do?
Yeah, I don't have a million pickups, but I got a few. I think the coolest thing since the last episode was, do you follow Jim Rugg on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you saw that he went in with a friend and bought some unpublished Ken Landgraf art.
Oh no shit! He bought it from Ken Landgraf himself though.
Ken Landgraf finished the project. It was never printed. The artwork showed up on eBay,
Oh wow,
and Jim Rugg got it.
that's
and
cool.
then made an agreement with Landgraf to publish it.
Oh, that's excellent.
Ta-da.
And you could only get it from Jim Rugg.
Yeah, from his website.
How much was it?
It's $10 plus shipping. It's not crazy expensive.
That's great.
Yeah.
But I love Ken Landgraf because he's like one of us.
Yeah, he is. But the intro page shows like how they got the art and how it's all laid out there. That's the only color in the book is those pages right there. The rest of
Yeah.
is
Because he
vintage.
sent that in.
Yeah, vintage, Beaver Girl Gives a Damn, and then you get historically significant, the first appearance of Cactus Man.
Oh, that's good.
It's awesome. It's craziness. It's crazy Ken Landgraf stuff from the era when he was doing his craziest work. And then Jim threw in a little autograph postcard, which was cool.
That's dope.
And then I wrote another neat postcard, which is Hellboy Jr. doing the Charlie Brown thing.
That's great.
Yeah. And then I also ordered from the website because I was like, well, if I'm going to pay shipping, maybe I'll grab another book. And I got the first issue of Conspiracy Comics,
Nice.
which has a couple of different stories in it. It's pretty cool stuff. I like Jim's self-published stuff. It has a great story called The Ghost Bomber, which is about a plane that landed in a river near Pittsburgh, like a U.S. military plane that landed in a river near Pittsburgh that was like, they never found it. So
Oh,
it
wow.
goes into some of the theories about what happened to the plane, why it maybe disappeared the way that it disappeared. Interesting stuff. And then it's got a wrestling comic in here with Ric Flair and one of the Von Erichs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So there's a story about that in here, and then a third story about the war on drugs. So it's pretty neat stuff. I think, not to get political, but I think Jim and I are probably aligned in a lot of ways. The way he tackles the war on drug stuff is pretty cool, but it's different, you have other comics that tackle conspiracies. Like I know that Revolutionary Press did a couple of conspiracy-based comics, like they did one about the death of Marilyn Monroe back in like the late 80s and stuff. And obviously there's Department of Truth, which is based on conspiracy theory stuff. But this is just Jim Rugg illustrating in his own super cool style the actual conspiracy theories themselves. Not really analyzing them so much, just kind of putting them out there as the people who believe in them, rather than dissecting them and calling them bullshit or not. So it's fun stuff. I like it a lot. I hope he does more of it. New books for the week. I'm not even close to caught up on my reading yet, but I did just finish the latest issue of The Incredible Hulk last night. I'm still enjoying it. Still fun.
Very nice.
Good monster stuff. But I still think it should take you more than 5 minutes to read a new comic. That's my problem with Marvel these days. I got the latest issue of World Tree, which has a pretty intense cover on it.
I didn't even know that book was still going on.
Still going on. Latest issue of Alien Paradiso,
Nice.
and then the latest issue of Epitaphs from the Abyss, which also has a pretty gnarly cover.
Yeah, they're getting weirder.
They are getting weirder. As far as what I picked up at the show, our friend Pop Fuzz came up to me and was like, "Hey, you got some books I want. Would you be interested in trading some of them for two old ECs?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And he's like, "All right, cool. I'll be back." So I think what he did was he made a deal with Mike Carbo for a bunch of stuff, and then came back with the two ECs that he knew I wanted, and then he traded them to me for some genuinely hard to find Peach Momoko stuff because I know he's a big fan. So it was a win-win for everybody. Mike got some business from Pop Fuzz. Pop Fuzz got some books he wanted from Mike. I got some books from Pop Fuzz, and Pop Fuzz got some books from me. So everybody was happy.
And I got nothing but drama from Carbo.
They are lower grade copies. The covers are partially detached on them, but they're still vintage ECs pre-code. So Shock Suspense Stories #9. I've always loved that cover of the man being eaten by vultures.
Look at his face.
Yeah,
The
he's
guy
fucked.
watching it.
He's fucked. And then Shock Suspense Stories #16, which has like a dude getting really roughed up by some thuggish gangster type guys on the front. And it's
Yeah.
funny,
People pay for that nowadays.
yeah. When I was like a kid or a teenager, I was like, kids should have been able to read that stuff. There was no point in getting that stuff out of the hands of kids. But like as a parent now, I'm like, I don't believe that comic books led to juvenile delinquency like Fred Van Wortham did, but like depending on the age of the kid, some of the stuff
But
it gets intense. There's always a moral to it, but it gets pretty intense. The 50s were a different time period, but don't ban comics because that's screwed up.
yeah,
Um,
well,
yeah.
Wortham was a thing about him though is that he's had a problem with comics since Captain America punched his leader in the face.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I don't trust anybody that came after the war to America.
I want to see Captain America punch more Nazis, and I'll just leave it at that.
Oh yeah, forget it right now, bro. Like I'm literally watching like people just have meltdowns over everything that's happened, and they're like, "What do I do next?" I'm like, "Nothing. You just gotta like vote better."
Yeah, well, from my heart to yours, punch Nazis.
Yeah, but like I'm not denying that. No, it's not like anybody in this room that I'm sitting in hasn't done it before.
Right,
And I'm just saying,
right.
I grew up in the punk scene.
Hmm.
All right, real quick, just a small note. Do you remember a few years ago some buffoon walked around like a Nazi in Manhattan and went to bars?
Yes.
All right, my friend Lucille posted that. She goes, this moron just walked into my bar. Lucille is this beautiful black woman with a giant afro that's a rockabilly girl.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Get the fuck out." And the next video I saw was just somebody punching him in the face.
Yeah, I have no sympathy for Nazis that get punched. None
He
whatsoever.
was like, "Oh, Halloween costume." I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" I was like, "There's something going on since then."
I was at a bar when I was 19. I was in Canada, so I wasn't there underage. I was 19 or 20. It was called Gourds, and it was in St. Catharines, Ontario. And like on the weekends, they'd have a DJ in who would play like cool punk rock stuff. And
Mhm.
I was out dancing with a bunch of people on the dance floor, and they played White Riot by The Clash, which I guess this stupid Nazi skinhead thought was a white power song. He clearly never read or listened to the lyrics or knew anything about the Clash because anybody who has any familiarity with the Clash knows that's not how they leaned. At any
Oh
rate,
no, of course not.
he was out on the dance floor Sieg Hailing, and I gave him the finger. At which point he took a shot at me, and I took a shot at him, and he took a shot at me, and then I took a shot at him, and this time connected, and I punched him in the jaw, and I got kicked out. The bouncers didn't realize why I punched him in the jaw. When I explained it to them, they grabbed him, took him out back, and we didn't see him again after that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So,
When I was a kid, the not in Ridgewood, Queens, in Maspeth, there's a bunch of. I live in Ridgewood, Queens. I grew up in Ridgewood, Queens. I mean, and around the corner from us is Maspeth, Queens. And these guys rolled up in a Ghostbusters type car,
uh-huh.
but with swastikas on it
Oh, jeez.
and SS bolts. And when I was 13, this is 1997, and just like they saw a bunch of punk rockers, and one of the guys with us was like a skinhead guy who was really big. and they were like gonna fight us all, but the skinny guy wasn't gonna do nothing. He was just
Mhm.
like, he was big for nothing.
Yeah.
After that, I was like, yo, whatever happens, just fight back because you're gonna get jumped no matter what.
Hmm.
That's why I have a problem when I ride the subway. I don't take no shit from people on the subway. I don't I don't do nothing because I've already since I was a kid, I've learned that anything can happen.
Yep.
Do not back down because most people will back off if you stand up for yourself. But it could be worse. It could literally be a bunch of idiots showing up in a Ghostbusters mobile with Swastikas on it.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
that's
all I
bad.
was doing was getting a bagel. That's his life, right?
It's his life. Back to
What else
comics.
did you get? Yeah, back to our other stuff.
Back to comics. I got this from you. I got the Comic Tom Carnivore NYCC limited Swamp Thing #1 variant.
Yeah, Carnivore Comics has really grown on me. I'll tell you that much.
They do some
His
cool
covers
stuff.
are getting better and better that they choose.
I've said many times I try not to chase variants, but I make exceptions for Swamp Thing. From
Me, it's
our
Gabriel Delotto.
Yeah, from our friend Kyle, Comics and CDs. I spent a few dollars with him. I got he came up to me as soon as the show started. He was like, "Do you want this?" And just based on the cover, I said, "I don't know what it is, but yes." It is,
That's you looking for parking yesterday.
yeah. The whole thing is silent. The artwork is like super, super detailed. It has like kind of a Charles Burns vibe to it. Again, I haven't read very much of anything this last week, but like that's up my alley, just
Yeah,
based on the
totally.
pages I flipped through. So that's at the top of the reading list. I'm gonna try and get to that tonight when I get some work done this afternoon. Also from Kyle, he always has a box that says cheap weird shit, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like to dig through that box. And I got the last 4 issues of Madman comics for $5.
Bro, I love those books so much. I have a little statue of Madman. I love that.
Yeah, it's great stuff. It's all 4 chapters of the G-Men from Hell story,
Nice.
and
I have
then
one of the hardcovers. I want to get the other hardcover, but they're not coming out quick enough for me.
right.
Like Mad Men is so many productions.
Hmm. And
But
then
go on, sorry.
all 3 issues of Madman Adventures, the Tundra series, issues one,
Oh,
two, and three.
nice. Very nice.
Um, Dom bought some comics from somebody who came in looking to sell and came up to me and asked me if I needed these 2 issues of Swamp Thing, which I did.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's always good.
Yeah, he handed those to me. So I'm now down to missing 17 issues out of like 180. So I'm getting real close on that. Carl hooked me up with a Fat Freddy's Comics and Stories #1.
Ah, jealous. That's a nice one. But I had that same outfit on yesterday.
And then speaking of Carl, his brother Kenny, along with his friend, what's the friend's name? James Roberts, have their own self-published comic that they're trying to get off the ground. So they have
Mhm.
a proof of concept. Basically, it's essentially an ash can limited edition version that they were selling at the show. So I picked up one of those to support them.
I have the one before it because they have to do proof of concept a few times to get it printed.
Yeah,
So I bought last one. I didn't grab this one. What was it, $10?
it was 20.
20. Oof, I gotta grab one though.
Yeah.
Because that's the one right before they get the UPC and then I'll go to print.
Yep. Yeah, I got all the details from him on that. So
Mhm.
again, haven't read it. I'm gonna get to it. I apologize. I wish I had more to say about it. But if you want to follow them on Instagram, they are 6B Comics. The comic's called Madura. The cover is
Yeah,
great.
you can find them on our Queen's Comic Party. We repost what they post.
Yeah. So the art's cool. I mean, like I said, I haven't read it. I feel bad that I'm totally not prepared for this show, but the artwork is pretty solid. It looks like it's kind of a crime superhero thing. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. 2 other things I picked up from our friend Gary. He
Gary had
came
some
up-
great stuff.
Gary's always got the coolest stuff. I wish I had had
Yeah,
time to go look
Brooklyn
at his
Comics.
table. Yes, I wish I had time to look at his table because the stuff everybody else was getting from Gary made me jealous that I didn't get it. And I was there before them, but I was just busy setting up and everything. So at any rate, he came up to me and he said, "Hey, you're an EC guy. Do you need this?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, it's a collection of Al Williamson stuff with some writing on his work by Thomas Yates, Mark Schultz from Xenozoic Tales, and someone named S.C. Ringenberg, who I'm not familiar with. But it's a collection of essays and writing on his work, and then some reprints in black and white, which is
That's
how I like to
fantastic.
see Williamson's work because the line work really shines in black and white. Some of it's
And
EC
it's good
reprints,
to addition.
yeah, sorry,
It's a good addition to your collection.
it is, yeah. So I was happy to get that from him. And then the last thing I got was John, Heroes Reborn on Instagram. handed me this as a gift, which was very cool of him. So
Very nice.
it's not in super high grade, but I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. It's a great collection of underground comics. Some of them I have, some of them I don't, and I love this type of stuff. So happy to have that. That's it for me.
Oh, I got a lot because I racked up, unfortunately, from everybody
Hmm.
like a maniac. I'll start off with my big pickup. I picked up a Mondo's Urban Azteca Godzilla from Cosmic Comics.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's like Mexican style artwork of Godzilla. I
Hmm.
need the King Ghidorah next. This is the relic version, so it looks like it's like patinaed. So I like that one. I would have liked to grab the colored ones, but they're like $500-600, and I missed out. But they're helping me out get whatever they can, and they got this one. It's good enough for me. I love it. Comic wise, I kind of went a little wild.
You
Uh,
left with a huge stack.
yeah, yeah. Let's start off with Gary because the Brooklyn Comics had to have the wildest stuff, and we'll start off with like the not so great pulp books, fantastic stories,
Those are cool.
$5 a pop.
Very nice. Great covers on
Yeah,
those.
yeah, but then I can't open this book because it's very graphic. I don't even know what it's called really. It's called Woman and Man.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to read it. The only way somebody describes it, it's like Dr. Seuss on acid.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see if there's any artwork that's not full of boobs. Give me a minute.
Might take a second to find some.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe this one. It says Troopy artwork.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm really into wild shit like that. It just says New York, Berlin, Canary Islands, and Philippines. I don't know if that's the story. I've seen this before, and I was trying to figure out what it was. So when I grabbed it, I saw it. I just grabbed it.
Yeah.
I was like, I know what this is, but I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, it's new to me. I don't think I've seen that before.
That's the best line for anybody. It's like it's new to me. I got a bunch of books from Big J Comics. I got X-Men number 19, The First Mimic.
Yeah, that's a great book.
Yeah, this is a fantastic book. So I'm happy. I never bought any of these early X-Men. Um, from it should be all together. Yeah, from Evil Ethel, I got Johnny Quest cover by Dave Stevens.
Very cool.
And I also got Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, number 106.
Cool. Yeah, that series ran for a while.
Yeah, it's like 130 of them.
Hmm.
And then this one is mostly let me get one more Carbo book in. This actually I got two gifts in. One from Hop Fuzz he got from Carbo. I messed up the book a little bit the way I put it in there. Superman, where
Oh,
you
that's
fight
the wrestling cover. Yeah.
yeah, where he fights Rocco. I gotta fix the bottom, it's a little torn. I gotta put a better bag and board on it.
Hmm.
And then my buddy Ian gave me this Rat Fink 3D.
He did. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Oh, he's a great guy, man. I fight with him a lot, so he deserves a better friend than me. So my bad. Then Kyle started off with World War III, number 42.
How many
So
issues has that run? Do you know?
49 just came out.
Okay.
It's still ongoing.
Yeah, I didn't
I
realize
just
that.
lost on a number 20 something
Uh-huh.
on eBay. I forgot that it went up, but I was like, oh, forget it. I prefer to find them in person.
How close are you to finishing it?
Nowhere near.
Okay.
I have all the trades and all that stuff. Let me go from least to best, I guess, over here with this guy because he gave me a lot of good shit. All right. There's a lot of Kirby in here with him.
Where'd
I
you
got
get these
Superman's
from?
pal. Kyle, the next one's Kyle's.
Okay.
Comics and CDs. Jimmy's pal, Superman, Jimmy Olsen.
Yep.
Jimmy's pal, Superman. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. 145 and 146.
The Kirby
You
issues are
know,
a lot of fun.
yeah, there's a bunch of them in here, but I'm gonna jump around a little bit because it's like from least to best. A signed copy of David Finch's Batman,
Very nice.
and then another signed copy of Batman Dark Knight.
Cool.
I like David Finch, but whenever I see him, there's a long line. But then when we see him at like Horrificon, it's real easy. Then I got a variant cover from Becky Cloonan's Wonder Woman by Paul Pope.
Paul Pope is great.
Oh yeah, I got a signed book from him, but it's like
Yeah.
Battling Boy. It's like a trade.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah, it was cool to find. It was like a weird find in the store. All right, here. Um, these are both kind of mint condition books. Commandy #1.
So are you taking back your dislike of Commandy, or you just wanted the number one?
I'm terrified. I think I'm gonna buy it all. I have all the trades, all this stuff, and then like the problem is it's hard to say no to the new gods.
Hmm.
Like here's #2 from New Gods.
That's a nice copy. It looks like mine's all beat up.
Dude, all of these are all minty. You know what I mean? Like everybody's calling me at the same time with bullshit. Sorry. Guys who I'm like, don't call. Um then dude, I got a lot of comics though, so we're gonna be here a minute. And then we have enough time for one big story.
Yeah, keep going.
All right, good, good. Because I have a big story. This is another book from Gary, one of the trades I collect, The
Cool.
Curing of Dr. Banner. Let me put that over there because you got to go on the shelf. From Bags and Borbs for sale, I got Wizard Ace 48. If anybody, I'm sorry, it's dark.
Glare on that there. Oh, the Fantastic
Yeah,
Four
it's
one. Okay.
lenticular covers, that's why. And then here's another one. That one I forget is by, I think, Carl Kessel. Here's X-Men 94 from Wizard.
Hmm.
It's by John Cassidy, RIP. Then an issue of Toy Fair.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, this weekend I'm going to Toy Fair. I finally got a pass. I'm going as a buyer.
Is that a
And
Javits?
then, yeah, Javits Center, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been dying to go all this time because, like, I've never been. I can't go. I've not been pressed, but now I'm going as a buyer for a store.
I went for work a couple of years ago. It was pretty
Was it
cool.
cool?
It was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I can't wait to go. We were gonna open up the Queen's Comic Shop, and I was like, I'm gonna postpone it just for this.
Yeah.
And then a variant cover. I like multiple characters on the cover, so it's always good.
Hmm.
You know. All right, let me jump to the next one. Oh yeah, sorry. There's like some weirdo books I've been dying to show off. I don't know where I found this in the pile, but it's the story of the water supply.
Oh, okay.
This is one of these weird books. I think somebody put it on top of the donation pile, so I guess it's a donated book, but I don't know what it is. Like,
Right.
so I thought it was cool. No, it's not donation pile. It was in the dollar bin for a store because I got this also with it. I got the Warren Ellis from Gen 13 with all the anime covers,
Mhm.
and I was so happy to get them because I've been looking for them for a while.
Those are harder to find.
Hmm. I think this one you gave me. Did you give me Vengeance of Vampirella half?
Yes.
Yeah, so I got that from you, Angelina, and then you're not the one who gave me this cover, did you?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. This is like it's starting to add up because there's only like 10 of them that they reprinted.
Right.
One of them is Marvel Comics. The cover is ugly. It's a Glenn Farby cover. I think it's Glenn Farby, but it's like one of the Preacher guys. I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
I got two issues of Space Usagi from Royal Collectibles.
Very cool.
I went to pick up my books and I kind of regretted it a little bit because I bought a $50 book there, but I was like, just because the story is fantastic, I have to get it. Now give me 1 second to see where I lost that book. Oh, I'm holding it and looking for it. All right. CM Punk, the professional wrestler, quit the World Wrestling Entertainment. He went on to do comics for a little bit for Marvel. So he did a Thor story where Hulk is a mass wrestler versus Thor.
Okay.
This is the first signing. And to be honest with you, because of the time, it was kind of before PDC kind of really went big. Like I could probably get this sent in and get a yellow grade, hopefully.
Mhm.
But they have a signing, they have the ticket because these guys, the guys from Royal, decided on a whim, let's go fly to Chicago. The first signing he ever did, and this has a funny story to it because they ran into one of their friends from Queens in Chicago.
Okay.
And they had a stack of these. And they're like, Omar, would you like to go with us to wait online? He goes, like, sure. So he takes a stack. Everybody takes a stack of 3 or 4, so it's not annoying. I think you were allowed to bring a couple of things. So they paid for the ticket. They got him. They gave it to him. They everybody was talking to him about why he quit wrestling, and they started getting on the guy's nerves.
Mhm.
So they kept going on and on. Every single person before them. They told Omar, they said, do not bring that up. Don't say anything. Just be quick. Hey, how are you? Talk to him normal. First thing he goes, hey, why you quit wrestling? And so you could see him annoyed by him. So when they finally went up, they're like, yo, thank you. He was super nice, signed it. So this is one of the signed books. The books Omar got signed, they got it back from him. They said, Omar, why did you say to Omar on every book? They were like, what do you? They're like, just keep it. They're like, no, I don't know that many Omars in this world,
I went to
but
college
there's
with an
two.
Omar.
Yeah, but how many of them collect comics and want to see CM Punk signature?
Yeah, he was the only Omar I know. CM Punk wasn't a thing when I was in college, so I know of
But
zero Omars who collect CM Punk stuff.
the funny part is, like in my life, I know two Omars.
Hmm.
Well, they're related to each other, I think. But that's it. In all my years, I'm 40. You know what I mean? So I thought that was a great story. I was like, I want that because I want to put it on my podcast and just show it off.
That's pretty
And
cool.
it comes with the ticket and everything. CM Punk signing for Thor Annual #1. It's a cool cover. I don't know who did the art. And plus I am a fan of the guy because I'm a comic book guy, I'm a nerd guy, I'm a punk guy, and I like wrestling. But that I love that was a big mess up. But what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah. Is that your long story?
That was it. Usually I tell longer tales, but I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. It's funny. I've got some books that are signed like other people that I've bought secondhand and stuff. I have a copy of Archie Meets the Ramones that's signed like to Pete that I found in
Oh,
like a dollar bin someday one day, and I was like, I already had Archie Meets the Ramones because it's Archie Meets the Ramones, and I bought it day one, but this was a variant cover, so I didn't have it. It just so happened to be signed over to somebody named Pete.
who signed it though? Was it Alex?
Yeah.
Alex Segura, yeah, it was like a Queens native now.
I also
Well,
found years ago in a record store in Las Vegas, a Chris Christopherson album that was autographed that was also signed to Pete. And given that Chris Christopherson just passed away a couple of months ago, it's not like I'm going to get another signed Chris Christopherson album. So I was happy to get that.
yeah, no, 100%, 100%. That's great. Let me see. Do I have any signature books that are weird? Like, I don't like buying signed books.
Hmm.
Like, I like getting them signed, the whole adventure.
Same.
But if it's got a good story, fuck it. And also, I don't want to pay those fees. And now I'm working with me, Billy Bombs. I work with Hot Flips. But Hot Flips is a big part of Queen's Comic Party now. And
Mhm.
they do all these wrestling events. So I can't wait to go. Because these guys are like, at one point, Hot Flips was at MegaCon. And he goes, the same guys, three professional wrestlers. I think it was the Street Profits and this guy, Omas, went to visit them. And they're like, oh, I've been buying from you for years because we live out here. And
Okay.
he took photos with them, not realizing they're all grown up and professional wrestlers, which is kind of cool now. But
Yeah.
I guess you do enough events, it kind of like you're like, oh, you see everybody through the years.
Right.
But what's your best story for getting a signature yourself?
Um, for comics or in general?
In general.
Okay. So I went to, well, this is comic related actually. I went to Chiller Theater in 2001. And at the
Yeah.
Something Weird video booth, David Friedman, the guy who produced Blood Feast and a bunch of gory horror movies with Herschel Gordon Lewis, produced a bunch of like adult films in the 70s and stuff. He's in exploitation film circles. The guy was a living legend. And I was like, cool, I'm going to get my Blood Trilogy box set signed and the first issue of the Blood Feast comic. I'll get that signed as well. So there wasn't much of a line, maybe two people ahead of me. And so I went up, oh, Mr. Friedman, nice to meet you. Would you mind signing this for me? And he's chomping on a cigar the whole time. Yeah, sure, kid, no problem. Hand over those discs. I'll sign them for you. So he signs the DVDs, no question asked. He's happy to do that. Then he gets the comic, which was put out by Eternity or Malibu, same company basically. Black and white with a photo cover taken from a still of the movie. I hand it over to him. He looks at me, and goes, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "It's the Blood Feast comic." He's like, "I've never seen this before. This is a bootleg. Who authorized this? I didn't authorize this. I own the movie. I didn't authorize this." And he starts ranting about it. And he's getting visibly pissed off. And I was like, "Oh, Mr. Friedman, I'm sorry." I said, "I had no idea." "Ah, it's not your fault, kid. It's not your fault. Sit down for a second." Okay. So I sit down and I'm like, I'm hanging out with David Friedman. This is a big deal to me. And he's like, what pisses me off? When people bootleg stuff. When people bootleg. Mike over here, he's talking about Mike Rainey from Something Weird. He's like, he was bootlegging my stuff, but then when I caught him, he made a deal. Now we're business partners. All good. These guys who made this comic book, I don't know, bunch of crooks. Where's my check? Where's my check? But it's not your fault. I'm gonna sign it for you. So he signed it for me, handed it back.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But that reminds me of the Bruce Campbell issue. Like sometimes you'll bring him comics and he goes, "Oh, I don't get paid for this. I don't sign it." And you're like, "Oh, what do I do?"
He won't sign the Dynamite stuff. I believe he'll sign the Dark Horse stuff.
I hope so because that I've kept for him.
Mhm.
That is one of my favorite films. Is Army of Darkness and
Yeah.
Evil Dead. So, but that always weirds me out. Like that sucks when you bring it and you're like, "What do I do now?" You know, you
Mhm.
feel like you're sweating. You know what I mean?
If you're worried about it, bring something else. Bring a DVD or a Blu-ray or something. I have an Evil Dead Blu-ray signed by the three actresses in the film, the guy who did the special effects for the film, and Bruce Campbell that I've met at
That's
various
dope.
points. So I have that. I'll never get rid of that.
I regret not going to Chiller for meeting Sam Raimi.
Hmm.
I love Chiller. Chiller is one of the funnest shows. And lately, like all the actors that you see, like that are all part of the chain, start off at Chiller, then they go to New York Comic Con, then they go here. You're like, okay, that'd be dope.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I met Raimi at NYCC. Was it about when did Ash versus Evil Dead come out? Like what, 8 years ago, give or take?
Yeah, dude, what a great show.
It was a lot of fun, yeah. So it was just before the first season had come out, and in the back lot at NYCC they had Ash's trailer that you could walk through. And when you came out of the trailer, you put your hand in, there was somebody standing there with a bag, and you could put your hand in a bag and pull out a piece of paper, and the piece of paper told you what you won. It was either a foam finger chainsaw thing, a t-shirt, a poster, or there were 50 tickets to come back on Saturday to do a meet and greet with Raimi and the entire cast, and I pulled that. So I wasn't going to go back on Saturday. I had a weekend pass, I had a press pass, but I wound up going back specifically for that reason. So I got to meet Sam and Bruce at the same time as well as the rest of the cast from the show. And you were only allowed to get one item signed. And I thought, well, I could bring the DVD that I've already got signed by everybody else and have Raimi sign it, but then I've got nothing else for the other cast members from the show to sign. So they gave you a poster when you showed up. So I had everybody sign the poster. So I have the poster signed by Sam and Bruce and the other cast members as well.
I love that. I'm not gonna lie to you, like a lot of my personality comes off that Army of Darkness film
Hmm.
because it's snarky and fun. But I would love to meet them and just get stuff signed. But
Sam's a
like,
smartass. I mean, Bruce is too, but Sam's a real smartass because when I met him, they had put like the first 10 minutes of the first episode on YouTube as a
oh,
promo.
okay,
And Sam asked me, he's like, no disrespect, guy, but like you're a little older than the other guy because everybody else in the line is like a teenager, and I'm in my early 40s at this point. He's like, you look like maybe you grew up watching the Evil Dead fans. These kids, there's no way they did. They're too young. And I was like, yeah, I've been watching the Evil Dead stuff since the first one came out. I'm a big fan. And he said, what'd you think? We put the first 10 minutes on YouTube. Did you get to see it? I said, yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. And he goes, oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. And then he smacks Bruce on the shoulder. He goes, Bruce, we don't have anything to worry about. This guy says we're good. This guy says we're good. He doesn't know me from a
dude.
hole in the wall.
But I love that like he dragged his friend no matter what to
Hmm.
do stuff together.
Yep.
Like he was there for there, like me and you drive each other nuts, but I know if I end up doing a movie, you're in it. You know what I mean? Like, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Like, well, you got to be like that, and it's kind of hard to be like to find friends like that because Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. He helped him with.
Oh, yeah.
Um, was it Xena
Hmm.
when he was the thief? I forget his name. Just him showing up in different stuff. I love that.
Yeah.
I love movies where you see the same people because they hooked up their friend.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger's stunt double was his friend he went to bodybuilding with when he was a teenager.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, you ever saw the Running Man?
Which one? Oh, Running Man. Yeah, of course.
Remember the bodyguard? And he goes, Sven, get rid of this guy. He
Yeah.
goes, well, you can't hear me. He's like, oh, must be my steroids. That's his best friend slash stunt double.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's in every single film, one way or another. And same thing with Paul Newman. I'm
Yeah.
a big Paul Newman guy, so it's this. The warden is also the warden of Cool Hand Luke is also the general manager of the Chiefs hockey team in Slapshot.
Slapshot's such a great film. I have a
Bro, that
Chiefs
is a great
t-shirt. I gotta find my Chiefs t-shirt. I'll wear it to the next show.
that is one of my. I just got the VHS. I'm so happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I miss is painted covers.
Hmm.
Like when you see VHS with a painted cover, Evil Dead. That's what I would get signed. Evil Dead 2, the cover.
Yeah.
I'm talking shit. I got an Evil Dead poster from like England. I can get signed. But are we on the time?
Yeah, we got like 3 minutes.
3 minutes. All right, so let's just wrap it up. Meet your heroes. Go do stuff. Have fun.
Punch
I'm
Nazi.
Billy Bombs.
I'm Ian.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Queens Comic Podcast.